You're tuned to audio stories made by students of the University of Canberra's Faculty of Arts and Design, based on interviews with members of the Canberra community. Episode 4.
Ruby Dunn, 31st of December 2019. Black.
About 6 o'clock in the morning, we all got the news that it had spread all the way through Nelligan to Mogo. And that was when the neighbour was knocking on our door and told us to evacuate. All I took from Dad's house was just a small bag of belongings, and everything else perished. That day we were just sitting, waiting. Didn't expect it to be what it was. I didn't expect my house to burn down. All you could smell was smoke. There was just smoke everywhere. And just the unknown was really scary at that point. The rest was just black. It's the only way you can describe it. It was just black. I didn't know what to feel. My dad didn't know what to say. There was nothing that could help us.
From a young age, I always thought I wanted tattoos. Like, I had different ideas of what I wanted. I thought I'd get a 1975, the band, like the box on my arm, but I didn't end up doing that. I still like them, but not as much. Your ideas do change over time. But yeah, I've stuck with like a nature theme on this arm so far. My first tattoo would be the nature scene on the inside of my forearm. I got it because I like the design. I didn't make it myself, I nicked it online, but I kind of made it my own, or my artist did. It's got like a starry night, mountains in the background, some trees and a waterfall. I just thought it'd be really nice to look at inside my arm. I only have 3 at the minute, but I am wanting more to fill my right arm out. I've got the first one I said, I've got a big fern on my forearm from my elbow to my wrist, which was inspired from The Last of Us. The character Ellie has a fern plant on her arm, and I just like fern plants as well. It's really big, it curves around my wrist, I really like it. And then I've got a greyhound on the other side of my arm, just because I have a greyhound at home. I love greyhounds, I think they're the best dog, I love them so much. And I just think they look really funny. So I've got one running across my arm.
This story is about when I was in primary school, maybe year 2 or 3. We were living back in Sweden in a little ski town called Åre. It was in the middle of winter. There was the skiing tournaments happening, which was a big national show, and everyone was there to come and watch all of the athletes. During school, they took us on an excursion to go watch some of the skiing events, and being such a small town, you just simply walked everywhere. When we were walking into town, single file next to the road, and up ahead I saw this man and this woman in big woolly coats coming towards us. At the time, I was kind of like talking to my friend, so I didn't really think too much about it. But then looking up, this man kind of brushed my shoulder, and I looked up and I noticed it was the King of Sweden and his wife, the Queen of Sweden, and one single policeman walking next to them chatting. I had seen this person so many times on paintings and on pictures. Of course, he's our king, so seeing him bumping into me was probably one of the most surreal moments of my childhood.
So my high school life was pretty good. I think I learned a lot of things during that time, and I learned a lot of valuable skills. So I think aside from school stuff, I've also picked up more extracurricular skills that are not entirely useless actually. So ever since high school, I've never really had an efficient way to travel efficiently because most of the time I think I would walk and take the bus, which is quite annoying. So there was a lot of waiting for red lights and for cars. I was really tired of all this waiting, and I used to stop myself from crossing because, it's safe to do that. And when the red light starts blinking, it's time to stop and not cross. But then soon I realized all this time is wasted and I could have been doing something about it. And I started counting the amount of times the light blinked at each intersection that I know whether I could walk the rest of the light safely or not. Because, sometimes the light gives you a lot of time to cross through, but then people are just like, oh no, I feel like I should stop right now. So in the end, I managed to learn a lot of these blinking red light patterns and memorize them efficiently so that I could just cross them whenever I want. I barely save any time doing this, but I think it's fun and interesting to do while I wait for a red light almost anywhere I travel, really. So one notable example is, Northbourne Avenue, just parallel to that, I think it's 13 ticks on the longer side and 9 ticks on the shorter side on Alinga Street. It's pretty easy because the light there is pretty long and I don't have to wait for that light at all.
I'll talk about my experience that I have spent time in primary school and high school back in Japan and Australia. In primary school, I came in year 5 and stayed till year 6. And I went back to Japan and came back in middle of year 9, and since then I've been living in Australia. One of the things that I found between Japan and Australia education difference was that everybody have student freedom in the classroom. So in Japan, we have to follow what teachers say, what others doing, compared to Australia, where we have our own freedom. It's more flexible compared to Japan. Another thing that I found was that since Australia is a multicultural country, everybody respect and acknowledge others' culture, no matter where they come from, the country, and the religious background, and etc. and etc. So because of that, I found that everybody has their own identity, and of course everybody respect what others doing.